Welcome, faraway friends. You have come to Darkeport, and today we are doing, we're playing Daggerheart. Yay! Picking back up, we have with us the Haven Quartet.
Not so much a quartet anymore.
And,
not as much.
So what's going on with this person down here? I'm sure we will find out shortly. So we have some sponsors with us who have been with us for quite a while now. Eldritch Foundry, since the beginning, who provided several of the figures for today's adventure, and you can go there. There's a link in the description. It's all sorts of minis. I've had a lot of fun figuring out how to make the different species of Daggerheart, which are not necessarily. You'd be surprised that they're. Some of them are familiar and some of them are not. So that's been an experience. But so far, the Eldritch Foundry has been up to the task, I'm happy to say. And then, of course, we have Cantrip Candles, whom in this campaign, actually, they have a line of deities. And those are the deities that we are using for this world. So we've dipped our toes into that a bit, and I'm sure we'll see some more of them. All right. I guess you want to light the candle?
We're just lighting
All
it.
right, we're just lighting
it.
We're still figuring out what
No
this
wheel
group
working,
does.
just lighting.
Leave it to the elf.
The elf is failing at lighting, actually.
Oh no.
Okay, but you know what? Everyone's failing in this world right now. It's kind of
It's because you're too used to. You got it.
I'm too used to doing it with magic.
Yeah.
I can't do it practically anymore.
And Caitlin,
Success.
yes, you have a recap for us. Yes.
Yes. So we're just going to do a brief recap of the campaign thus far, starting all the way back at our session 0 to get everybody on board with where we're at right now. So, as a reminder, this campaign starts only a few weeks after the event known as the Reckoning, which led to a few problems, some situations. Many creatures and people gained the power to work will, aka magic, and many who were once will workers lost that ability. Which led to the elves, who were previously mostly in control of this area, losing that control in some ways. There's also now a common language that all races are able to speak and understand. All of the maps have been erased, which is problematic. And lots of people's memories are foggy or scrambled, confusing, erased. And that magic that is a part of will working was previously hermetic and is now kind of chaotic and has to be used in a different way. Also, strangely, there were many temples that lined the streets of the town where our campaign begins in Haven, and all but 6 of them crumbled, and no one quite knows the reasons why, but they are definitely speculating about that. The Haven Quartet refers to 4 characters. Mine is Marlowe. She is an elf, and she is one of the few, and possibly the most powerful of the few remaining, who are able to still work will. Then we have Varian. He's a Qatari, and thanks to issues with maps, may not ever be able to return home and see the rest of his people again. We have Zeph over here. She is a human, warrior, and a straight shooter. She's got a lot to do out here. And then we have our froggy, Finny. And
What up?
He said, what up? He's an outcast. He lurks in the shadows, and we've seen him being visited by a strange friend that he's been chatting with. So the 4 of us were united on a mission that we were set by the Lord Skyfire, who is the Lord of Haven, and he has tasked us with going to the town of Hush in hopes of finding the Arcanist Whitefire, who was known to also work will in a different way. So possibly she might be able to understand a little bit how to work will in this situation. And our trip there was pretty safe, pretty uneventful, other than a minor encounter with some thistle folk.
I sat on the ground, and they went play.
The sitting helped. We arrived in Hush, found the town pretty disheveled, and we noticed there was actually a group of elves there from the capital, Ice's End. So Marlowe attempted to speak to them and learn about what's going on with them. And during that time, Finny had a bit of an encounter with a clank. The clanks are automatons, and since the Reckoning, they seem to possibly be gaining some level of sentience. But whatever this encounter was led Finny to have a kind of strange episode. So the rest of the party returned to the inn to kind of regroup there. And Marlowe, while speaking with the elves from Ice's End, met an elf who seemed to be returning from the home of the very Arcanist Whitefire that we are here to find. But he seems to be saying that she has just passed away, so we may have made it too late.
Too
late.
All right.
well done.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, that's a really good recounting there.
Very uplifting.
I needed it myself.
I forgot I was
Very uplifting.
not drunk.
No, it helps because this campaign we've kind of had to just do whenever we can all get together. So it's been, the real life BBEG is always logistics and scheduling, as any longtime gamer knows.
Yep.
So it's been a whole thing. But here we are. Okay. If I recall correctly, most of the quartet, actually all of y'all had bedded down, right?
Were
We
you on
got
the
a room on the second floor.
Three of you were on the second floor.
I said I'd watch from the
Required
sixth.
room.
And then you went up to and then you tried to get up to the roof, or at least
So I could watch,
the
like
top.
pretend to fall asleep, then climb up to watch from the sixth.
Okay.
We'll have some trust issues to work out sooner or later, probably.
No, I
I-
trust you all fully.
You actually managed.
Says that.
You actually managed to find a room that was occupied, and nobody's in it currently, though. So you don't know. Do you shut and bar the door, or do you leave it open for people? What do you do with that? Are you just gonna?
Were there belongings
They
in
didn't,
there?
they didn't specify which room on the second floor.
That's a free for all right now.
Okay.
It looks like there's kind of odds and ends, but there's no backpack here, there's no coin here, there's no food here. They took it out, but there's maybe a lost locket or a rag that got discarded because it got too nasty or whatever. And the room has two fairly comfortable beds. They're feather down. And you have blankets that are
Twin, full, queen, king.
How close we talking?
to a twin bunk. Actually, no, I like that. No, that's great. No, it's totally.
Really valid
it's
question.
bunk. It's a bunk. It's totally a bunk. And
Cozy.
so you have that. Actually, I'm going to say you have a bunk, and then you have almost a cot over here on the other side. Padded cot. Okay, cot. Fair enough.
Top.
Oh, top. Yeah.
It's called
He
the top
likes to
bunk.
be,
Who?
Zeph is happy with the cot.
Okay, cot, and then that leaves.
I'm on the bottom.
All right.
Finny declared
Finny's going up.
going
No, I'm like-
elsewhere, so
I'm in the. I go into the room with you guys so that people can see I'm a part of this party. But I'm gonna leave and climb up in the middle of the night to 6 to watch.
Are you gonna are you gonna prowl up there?
I think just watch
Like,
and
are
see
you,
the inner workings of the tavern at night. If there's no
okay.
if there's no real command, and we didn't really have an innkeeper, or
Well,
just, that's the situation. If this is the center of
so you
life.
yeah, there was
that
an
time.
innkeeper.
so you had Lausa, the dwarf who was there, and then her husband Lawrence, who seemed to be
Lawrence, okay.
running the place, but
Okay.
they're completely overwhelmed, and they basically just opened up the only structure capable of housing people. Because remember, you have these weird bouts of moving vegetation that are attacking people out on the outskirts of the town, so nobody wants to be alone right now.
Yeah, you'd even described a line of trying to cut the town in half or something.
Well, there's
part of it.
there's kind of this aggressive growth going on from the Sablewood that is trying to bisect the town, but you had heard tales of actual hedge zombies, veggie zombies out in the
Lovely.
You say veggie zombies?
Is this like Veggie Tales?
Veggie Tales.
Okay.
So,
plant
so
zombies.
basically, all the people, because of course you would to support this town, you'd have to have farmland, and so you have all of the people who are working, which is about 90% of the population, are in the agrarian business. They have now fled into the town, and hence the whole situation with food going on and that sort of thing. Now you do know that there's this moss situation, and so far that I'm going to go ahead and read you the first moss festival. So this is what should be happening right now, but is not currently happening right now. So they should be celebrating the first moss festival, the time when the new crops in the sunless farms have the first layer of moss growing upon them, meaning they begin to ripen for the season. It's a celebration of the arrival of spring, and the abundance of fresh fruits and vegetables the town will soon have. So this is a pretty nice place to live, before all this has happened. And this is where they have the good-natured arm wrestling competition, a stone painting class, and a small marketplace full of homemade trinkets. So happier times. So you have the traditional fields, and then you would have the underground ones. But even though you haven't heard of any attacks happening yet in the sunless farms, it's just kind of instinctually people are creeped out by being underground and isolated. So again, they're trying to organize, like tending the crops and tending the sunless farms rather, and going down there in shifts and parties. You're hearing, the reason I'm giving all of you this is because you're kind of hearing this background buzz going on, as some of the people who still have some soups and of their wits about them are trying to organize, life here. Okay, so Finny, you're not actually trying to get onto the roof then. You're waiting for a bit, and then you're just going to kind of insinuate yourself throughout the tavern and listen to what's going on? Okay.
Yeah, now that
totally
I
makes
think
sense.
that's good for Finny to do since I was out of it. And that's the best way for Finny to get consciousness, his grounding back.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're easily, you can, nobody pays you any mind. Everybody's kind of struggling and trying to tend to their own affairs right now. So, and then I'm going to remind you of a detail from last time that Lawrence, Laos, and a couple of the other dwarves were trying to organize some sort of hunting crew.
Yeah,
to go out.
Is that with Patroclus and...
Yeah, so Patroclus and John Rel so Patroclus was the Qatari village elder, and John Rel was his husband, who was an elven, of elven ancestry. And you...
I bet that went well.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's pretty right, because there's that little war not so long ago.
No problem. Yeah.
And now that you're in Hush, Marlo, you have met John Rel before. Like, you remember being here, and you remember even having, you think it was like, it wasn't dinner, but maybe a luncheon with them or something, because you've been to their home before. But that was, it seems like a lifetime ago now, even though it was probably only, for you, maybe 10, 15 years ago or something like that happened. All right, tell me how the party settles in, and then I'm going to track Finny for a bit.
I can go first. It's pretty simple.
Okay.
I pretty much told Lawrence, if I'm saying his name right,
Yeah.
that I would be available for hunting
Yeah,
in the morning.
You did.
And I'm pretty sure we kind of pushed through, so I'm going to try to get some sleep now because I'm probably going to be up pretty early. So probably close the door, probably not lock it necessarily because she's going to have to get in sooner or later. But
Okay.
just sleep.
Okay,
Well, I
because you're anticipating being up early and physically active. Good show. Okay. And then who's next in there?
Well, Zeph went to go get Marlo before letting her know we had a room. So I don't know at what point.
That's right, because she was
Probably
talking.
be returning together.
That's
They
right,
want
because she
us
was
to-
talking.
Adrian, right?
Share information, of some of the stuff that we learned at the tavern, and if she's sharing what she learned with the elves. So I don't know if that's happening now or like on the walk back.
I'm going to say that you do get Marlowe, because you had bid Manara adieu, who was the kind of impromptu leader of the refugees from Ice's End, from the capital. And again, if memory serves correctly, she was another one who had been drained of her power. And it was Marius on their side who saw that you... Was it Manara, or was it Marius, the redheaded dude?
Arcanist?
Marius.
Who saw that you had a little bit of red
Marius.
in your hair? Yeah. And he's actually the first person who has noticed that outside of Haven. Okay, so you get her, and then do you want to go ahead and
Yeah,
character.
just kind of compare notes. And what did you learn from your elves friends?
Unfortunately, it's not good news for us. I'm confused as to his story, but it seems that male elf you saw lying on the ground there, he came back in a strange way, but it sounded like he was returning from the home of the Arcanist that we came to find. But he said that she had just passed away. We may have just barely missed her. I couldn't get much of a clear story from him. He was out of sorts.
Do you believe his words?
I don't know them well enough to know if they would have a reason to lie, but we'll definitely need to question him further tomorrow. I'm not sure what really happened while he was there.
We might need to go investigate the Arcanist's house soon.
I would
Before
like
the forest encroaches any further.
I think you're right. If
We did
can go
learn at the
tomorrow-
tavern where it was,
Oh, good.
but they told us it was difficult to get to. So I'm wondering how he got back.
Hopefully he'll be in a better state. He may be able to lead us there if he's doing better tomorrow, and if not, perhaps with your ability, he would be able to tell you enough that you could create a small map for us to get there.
I'll survey the town first thing in the morning. How late is it?
It's pretty late now.
It's pretty, so it's too dark. I'll survey the town in the morning, first thing.
Right. Anything else? News at the tavern?
Yeah, I'm forgetting names because it's been a while for us.
Variant.
Varian?
Varian is going out with a hunting party to help gather some food for these people. Their food stores are running low.
I'm glad if we can do anything to help them while we're here.
It may not be enough for the future, but at least it should help for now.
Well, if we get to know them enough and they learn to trust us, hopefully some of them will even journey back with us.
I think
Even
it might be
seems
wise
safer.
for them.
I agree.
Okay, so you reach the Clover Tavern, and your two other party members rejoin you, Varian up in your room on the second floor. You're already kind of in a light doze by the time.
So he's catnapping.
Yeah. by the time you get in there.
Found the warm spot in the room.
That's why he likes to be a pie.
He made his biscuits and now he's nice and comfy.
So, is this when a certain person comes in making it a quintet, or
You tell me, GM.
or is that or Sydney, is that what happens when Finny goes down? Your choice.
Oh gosh.
Oh no.
I think.
How you want to enter, dude?
Oh my. Options. I think when Finny goes down.
Okay, that's what I was initially going to do, but
It
I wanted
goes
to...
up, dude. But
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going through I thought you were going to go circulate at the tavern, but you were going upstairs and seeing the upstairs.
Yeah, you said it was
Okay.
six. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
it
saying
is.
that.
It is.
It's also so I can watch. Well, we haven't chatted about it.
Okay, so you go up and it's normally Audrey, I'd say there are less people up here, but of course basically every available space is stuffed right now. So you just have a light step, and you've long ago mastered staying out of the way. And people are, like I said, they're in so much pain and so much fear right now that they're really just not paying you any mind. You go through, and then on the sixth floor, there's a great panoramic view. it's kind of up here, and again in happier days, you might have had like a dance up on the 6th floor, and it's probably that views. I mean, the cutaway is probably a good, like, picture a nice easy dome, and that's probably a good 40 feet across there. So it's quite striking as you're looking out at the early evening. The faraway stars don't shine any less. You have Lucida. I don't think we decided what day it was, but I'm going to say Lucida, the bright moon, is high in the sky right now. So it's she's gracing the nighttime world with her silvery energy. You're probably about 3/4 full, and it's waxing. So there's actually quite a bit of illumination. And against that backdrop, there is a formidable figure that would have been impossibly strong before the reckoning. Probably is still stronger than a human, but you know that all of the species have been compressed in a sense. All of their abilities are a lot closer to each other now. And what does Finny see?
Hi. You see a giant, about 7.5 feet tall, one eye right in the center.
So cute.
A bunch of just leather, chainmail armor, giant axe on the back. Amazing. And she's got long hair that's kind of in like a genie ponytail.
Oh yeah. That's great.
Cool.
Lots of furs. Yeah, she's there. I love her. Big hoopy rings. And just a lot of like fuzzy boots.
Sorry, Finny's gonna go like this. Am I seeing someone new to this whole thing?
So Sydney, you have pick one of your relations.
Oh my gosh, relations.
And it floods into your mind, and you remember this is all completely off the cuff. I don't even know what those relationships with the characters, literally I don't even know what they are for the character that Sydney is playing.
So many choices.
But this is all about the improv, so
okay. Either you're my childhood friend or we both want the same thing.
You pick. It's your choice.
Both tasty.
I kind of like the idea of being childhood friend.
Okay.
Because it's just a little, like,
it's a little ridiculous.
I know, and it's amazing.
Giant.
Okay.
I want a story all about memory loss. Let's be real.
Oh, you know.
Okay. So Finny, you're there, and you see a silhouette you haven't seen in a long time, and you all probably didn't even. I don't know. Are you native to Hush, or were you born elsewhere?
I was born elsewhere.
Okay.
I was born in the high mountains, high hills, very far from my home, but.
And you can't remember how to get there.
Nope.
Which is horrifying, and you're experiencing that. Okay, so you see this silhouette, this great silhouette that you haven't seen for many years, and she turns around. All right, go ahead.
Finny, my salutations, my good friend, and she'll go up and full on pick him up and like do a little like swirl, holding this little frog. Slimier than I remember, and
Your legs kind of dangle off the floor.
You don't forget ever being greeted like that, ever. After all this time, really, thank you for noticing. I am a little bit slimier.
good mucous membrane, I might say. How have you been, Finny, my friend?
Everyone around here is kind of saying they don't know. I'm recovering from the best hangover that wasn't a hangover ever. How did you get here? You're even coming from that direction.
Oh.
How did you get here through all this shit?
Honestly,
Or this stuff? PG.
No, you're good.
This is an R-rated
You're good.
You get here
R-rated.
through all this shit.
Honestly, I'm not quite sure. The last thing I remember is being in the thicket of it. That's for the lack of a better term.
In the old woods, it's kind of supposed to be thick.
Yes, and there was these beings, little, what are they called? Quite small, yet quite intimidating with their spikes and intimidating nature. Hated them, destroyed them immediately, you know.
There you are. That's the one I know.
Oh, it is a pleasure to see you today, my friend, and
It's a pleasure to remember you, my friend.
likewise.
Yeah, literally.
Having memories of somebody is quite reassuring, I must say. You've lost memories as well.
They come back slowly, and
This is in the room.
you'd never guess who I'm here with.
Who?
Part of this, I think they're calling it like the Haven Quartet. I'm here with an elf, and a ranger, and a human of all people.
My condolences. It must seem a little overwhelming.
It'd be odd. It's a little odd, but I'm a little worried that I don't know if they trust me or if I trust them. And I don't want you to be taken advantage of because you know much more about what's going on than I do. Probably. I mean, I'll challenge you, but let's not do that right now.
I second that. Surprisingly, I don't know as much as you think I do, my friend. But trust is a fickle thing, but
How are we
Trust-
gonna get home?
trust... I know, I miss my home. Trust that...
There's someone crying in the corner.
I'm trying to have a moment. Give me 1 sec. Actually, just have a...
Group of there's like
Finny tosses like a little bit of the reserve.
there's a group of refugees from Port Black Sand, and they're just cuddled in the corner of this ballroom and weeping.
Finny hasn't eaten yet and tosses what would have been like Finny's nightly dinner at this clump.
Just a bunch of flies.
Yeah, because Finny's like
Just a bag of flies. Here, be free.
the allotted rations for the evening that Finny wanted. Finny just tosses at the small group because Finny had already said.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Just trust that you have a friend like me. It's the only thing that I can really remember at the moment.
As long as they don't think I'm abandoning them. I swore my allegiance to the human.
Fascinating.
I said I'd follow them anywhere.
She kind of like smacks the side of her face, just... Am I hearing this correctly? You decided to walk with a human for a deal? Why would you willingly put yourself through that? Willingly, I emphasize.
When people you've always been afraid of who have the most power have none. I feel on the same level for the first time in my entire life. And if everyone's lost everything, maybe that's something to gain.
Wonderful insight. I
I mean, I am a higher power, but that's just from climbing.
You were always quite good at that, my friend. Perhaps you can introduce me to the rest of your party. In this human you speak of, it would be quite interesting to see what you see in this creature. It would be... It should be enlightening, hopefully.
As long as you promise not to interact with the ranger, the elf, and the human until I introduce you. I do not want to complicate my relations with them or put you or them in harm's way.
That dire, huh? Okay. Deal. But I would like the extra company. It's been a few days of a journey that I would quite love to forget. One thing I do wish I forgot. It is nice to see you, my friend. And she kind of like puts her hand on his shoulder. And
We're next to each other, it works out.
Yeah, it works. It works. We could do it. Improv.
you realize with all these memories, you can't remember this giant's name.
You just said you want to remember.
Yes.
I remember who you are, but not who you are. Sorry, what's your name again?
No worries, my friend. Kari. Kari Nix.
With a K or a C?
A K.
With a CK or an X?
She's like in her head, really thinking
Probably
about
overthinking it, yeah.
Khari, a space between N-I and an X, I think.
Well, if I happen to forget everything all over again, never gonna forget that.
Kari, will you make a knowledge roll for me?
Yes, I would love to.
First roll.
First roll for the character.
Okay. Oh my. I hate this already.
It's a rough one.
18 with fear.
18? Okay.
Hey, fear's not so bad.
Not so bad.
Right on after that.
What could go wrong?
Okay. Yeah.
That alone.
I'm sorry, everybody.
I know, right? It looks like this adorable little child.
I know, we were all mocking that until we saw that.
Cute
No.
with its happy colors. Like, no.
So, two things happen. One of them is with a rush of memory and bodily sensation attached to it as well. Sights, sounds, smells, the feeling of yelling, some of the blows, fighting, the violence, the fear. You realize with the start a pretty major thing that prior to the reckoning, that is prior to 3 weeks ago, you nor anyone that you knew well, including Finny, knew the secret of the word. None of you knew how to read and write. It had been kept from you, deliberately kept from you. And the elves, in their benign tyranny, had said that you do. I mean, this is how your character would feel it was.
Yeah.
In their benign tyranny, because you're a sage amongst your people, that you did not need the burden of the written word. Better for you to live in the moment. They would explain to you. And of course they were very genteel and very kind, and they would send their healers amongst you, and they would send their architects and their, and like that, even their transmuters as you needed to repair and to give you your material needs. But they were very careful with your minds. With the giants specifically, they were very careful with your minds and what they gave you and what they fed you mentally. And you realize that 3 weeks ago, at some point, you just knew, a woman of words and memories and keen insights and mental ability, suddenly knew the secret of the word. You could suddenly read and write, and you realized that Finny can as well, because he just asked you that question.
Yay! Screw you, elves.
Yeah.
We're awesome and knowledgeable. We're smart.
Sorry.
Now the elves were never. They themselves would never like try to kill you for knowing how to read and write, but some of the shorter-lived species that depended on them and that looked up to them honestly as kind of like demigods.
Yeah.
Because in this world the elves seem to be absolutely immortal. They would say, "Don't rock the boat. What are you doing? Why are you doing this?" And so you've been in scrapes because you've tried. It's been like a goal of yours for many years. Anyway, that all floods then, and what is an unpleasant thing that happens with the group?
Oh no.
With that group of refugees.
Uh-oh. I'm sorry.
I did just give them my...
You did.
It got in their eyes.
They start choking on flies.
Actually, I have a default.
I don't know what rations you gave me, dude.
I have a default, but I want to know if you have a better idea. Go ahead. If you have an idea that you want to inflict on the group, go for it.
Okay. Like as in like this group as a whole, or just like the refugee group?
No, the refugee group from.
I said I'm having a moment.
Oh, okay.
That am I weeping? How are we gonna get home?
Sorry. She'll probably have this like all of those memories, those terrible memories of being lied to and held back, that she will almost lash out and just give them just such an intimidating glare.
Okay.
Just to shut up.
Okay. Okay, they look. No. She's gonna eat us.
Oh, please.
And
She'll just...
there wails between the memory and the bodily sensation and the wailing and gnashing of teeth. You take a stress.
Okay, it's fine.
Stressed.
You don't have to, as long as you just keep track of it with the chips on if you want to. You can just use chips, and that way you don't have to write on the character sheet if you don't want.
Nah, no worries. This is erasable.
Okay.
Oh.
Erasable?
Erasable pen.
Okay, fans.
So,
Just have a reaction to this.
yeah, if you want, sure, of course.
What would you like me to do, sir?
I'm imagining you're leaving the room, but
Well, you didn't say I departed after.
no.
After.
Yes.
Yeah.
She will almost like give the glare, storm off, but also look to Finny and be like, "Come get to me whenever you're ready to introduce me to your new friends." And she will walk off.
Okay.
Do I know that this is her power, her reaction to things? Do I know that in advance?
What's your instinct? Because I think that's perception.
Instinct 0,
0.
which is like awesome.
Which is so great.
I learned that day one.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say that because this is a childhood friend and someone that you know, like on an instinctual level, you just had something similar. You literally just had something similar happen to you like a couple hours ago. So that you kind of intuit that you think something similar just happened. You don't know exactly what it was, but something got into her head like that. Just burst on scene.
Okay.
Do you want to follow or do you want to stay in the ballroom? Or do something else?
I want to stay on mission.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Marlo and Zeph, how do you bed down? Do you lock the door? Is there any other rituals, nightly rituals you go through on the road, or?
Yeah, I think that.
You probably would have prayed to the Great Mother.
Well,
before.
I was gonna say is it Magna Mater?
Yeah, Magna Mater. Mm-hmm.
I think despite anything happening with the temples and anything happening with the Reckoning, that Marlo still does a nightly ritual of prayer or paying respects to her deity, even though she is unsure if it matters anymore. She is gonna keep up her tradition and continue to have faith. So,
That makes
I imagine,
sense.
you know, if she's carrying like a little mat that she kneels on right next to her dirty little bottom bunk and does her little prayers, and then we'll just climb into bed.
You see some crumbs in the bottom bunk, and it looks like a discarded, battered child's doll.
Yeah, and she tries to play it really cool, like, oh yeah, I'm rough and tumble just like you guys, but she's been living in like a very
Beautiful and pristine.
fancy castle for her whole life, so she's just like, oh, I just dust this off, and rolls away to face the wall. It's like, ugh, this is disgusting.
Of course, to you, Zeph, this is lavish accommodations.
Yeah, this looks pretty nice and clean. So I mean, she's probably stayed in some nicer places, but yeah, she has plenty of experience with.
But you're used to sleeping on rocks.
Yeah.
Out in the
So the
fields.
cot looks pretty darn good.
Yeah, this is easy.
She'll choose the cot knowing Marlo's already out of her element and going,
Okay.
we don't need to make this any more difficult than it already is. And she may even say something like that. She'll just kind of wave towards the lower bunk for you to take it. And she'll toss her stuff near the cot. So.
Do you have any nighttime rituals?
Well, the first thing I wanted to clarify was if Zeph had the chance to talk to Finny before he just took off, or did he just take off
I think he just
to
took
the
off.
6th floor?
I think he just took off.
Okay, because she doesn't want to lock him out. Yeah. But that was unaddressed, and she's kind of a little upset about it. So she's going to do something a little bit different, and she'll talk to Marlowe. He's already out, so not going to worry about it.
Yeah, sleeping under a Qatari. Sleep well, elf.
You hear chirping from the
That's
top.
I've
Never been more comfortable.
Right, we said this earlier. Like our GM has a lot
watching
of
the
trust to
bird.
play with.
Yeah. Pupils widened.
Maybe you do a soft purring sound. It's like a white noise machine.
I like that.
Cozy.
Sounds of the hunt are just going through your head, and you're like, I'm going to get it.
I'm gonna die this
You
night.
hear the sounds of struggle, of spirit, of mental and emotional and spiritual struggle and anguish throughout the Clover Tavern at night. A lot of sobs and
So
shaking.
Zeph, you're gonna see Zeph pull out a few different short little sticks about yay long, and she's just kind of going through them and looking at the door, and she'll find one that fits just right. She can wedge right underneath the door,
Love it.
so it'll at least slow the entrance of the door opening and make a noise. So that's the first thing she's gonna do. She'll try a couple, figure out which one fits best,
So clever with that, Saf.
so that the door's not locked. But if somebody tries to get in, it's not as quiet as they may expect.
I've never seen that before. I mean, my people wave their hands for those kinds of things, but it's so smart. I need to teach that to some of my friends.
Magic isn't always the solution to everything. Some of us had to get used to that.
Some of us are getting used to it now.
So Zeph is gonna start taking her armor off and kind of in almost like a ritualistic kind of way, setting it aside so it's fairly easy to grab, or it's.
I imagine that you know exactly where each piece is. Like you
Yes.
always set it up exactly the same way
Yes.
every night in case you get attacked during the night. Yeah.
Yeah, and she'll go through a series of kind of slow stretches to just kind of relax.
Unwind. Okay.
And she will put her head against farthest away from the door, facing the door,
Okay. Yep. That all checks.
with the sword right there.
Checks.
Glad we have you.
And you see her put her sword, because she has a second. I think I gave her a second sword. No, she just
Does
has
not
a
have
sword.
that yet. Yeah.
Never mind.
Well, I hope she has it.
She'll have. We'll. I promise. After this adventure, we'll get all of that.
Right? Yeah, we'll figure that out. It's fine.
Yeah. Have to look at the rebalancing because you and I both think some of the current state of the weapons is a little weird.
Yeah.
It's a little
bit.
curious. It's a little curious.
I'm an
Can't wait to
agility
encounter that
fighter
one.
with one big sword.
Yeah.
That needs to be fixed at some point, but we'll get
All
there.
right. So, Finny, do you where do you go to sleep, or what do you do? Do you eventually circle back to the room, or do you chill up on the 6th floor the whole night?
I believe,
Which you're perfectly capable of doing.
yeah, Finny knows that Finny has to touch base with Zeph, because that is immediately the person I was going to be here for. And considering the information that I probably knew she was going to get, I want to touch base with her if I'm going to stay up all night to let her sleep. But how are we moving forward as
Okay,
a team?
so-
And deciding if I'm going to tell her about my friend that I just encountered.
Okay. So eventually you get down there.
But
Okay.
I'm just chilling up there, making sure everyone cries. They go to sleep.
Cries themselves to sleep.
I didn't want to say that out loud, but
Just, wallow in the sorrows for a little bit,
Just feed off of the misery.
Yeah.
Soothing sounds.
So relaxing.
The cat
It's
purring.
Exactly.
as you're sitting there, Finny. As the shadows lengthen and the candlelight burns low. Did you forget about me? I haven't forgotten about you, my little friend. My little green friend. Do you have anything to bring me tonight? Finny, I won't be ignored. Finny. I want you to remember, we began with cordiality. Good night. The shadows writhe a little bit around you, and you can feel them actually caress you. And then you open your eyes, and the shadows have retreated back to what they should be. It was, of course, the same voice that was up in the church.
Okay.
Who, if you remember, wanted you to bring some sort of oil to them. Okay, roughly what time do you get down there? Back to the room.
If dawn at this time is, like, the sun's starting to come up, it's going to be 5:36, and this is not a tavern that's popping until 4. I'm probably down 3, so it still is dark.
03 in the morning.
300 hours.
Okay.
Finny hops down gracefully, doesn't use the stairs because the stairs have been worn and torn, and you can hear creaks and cracks in wooden stairs or stone. So Finny noted.
So are you climbing on the outside
Yeah.
of the tree?
No. So because I don't know if the front door is going to be locked.
Okay.
I'm literally slipping down, but not using the stairs from the 6th floor.
If not the stairs and not the outside of the tree, how are you getting down there?
Am I not on this? You said the tavern was 6.
Yeah, so it's this great tree, and you have the in the description it says that the buildings are on the outside of the tree, but that it makes sense to me that they would have hollowed into the tree as well.
Oh,
so imagine like this great redwood tree.
Okay.
And then you have these
I don't
six,
know if you wanted me using like the fire escape.
you have these 6 stories. There's nothing quite like that, but you probably can climb down the outside of the tree, although that will be a roll.
Okay. But I don't think I wanted to exit the building at all. I wanted to go down through the inside, but just not use how people climb.
You don't have many options unless you want to take this opportunity to shadow step. What you know instinctually you can do now, but you haven't used it yet. You don't have to, but you could get down there that way. It's called something else, sorry.
Shadows. No, I'm a shadow stepper.
What is the ability called? It's called
The spellcast is finesse. Nightwalker. Really.
Nightwalker. That's what it. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what it's called.
I ain't using that.
It's kind of badass.
No, it is, but I get 100 feet with that stress to teleport, so I'm not using that now. So I am going to just climb the way I know how to climb.
Okay, so you'll be quiet. You'll prowl on down. All right, but you don't want to leave the tree. Fair enough. So you get down there. Most everybody is asleep. They have not organized themselves. Anybody, they have not made an organized defense. Anybody who's up right now is up simply because they can't sleep, not because they want to be up. So you get down to the room. You quietly press on the door. Feels like something is kind of stuck in the door. So it's like.
Finny crouches down and sees the stick. Pulls it out.
You can't.
Because Finny knows the trick. The stick you put in the door to make sure someone sees it. Finny crouches down to see it because Finny can't get through.
No, it's not sticking out on the other side.
Yeah, it's on the inside.
But Finny checks that because
It's like a door
wood.
stopper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But on the inside.
But it's wood. Finny hangs around wood. But there's no lock.
So you can't
And I
reach
might not
it.
have that knowledge.
You can't reach it with your hands, but you can probably reach it with your tongue.
Oh gosh.
But it still made some noise.
Sorry, I kind of
your-
I keep forgetting I have that.
What's your instinct?
0.
0.
0.
Oh my
And
god.
so is mine.
It's a familiar noise.
Yeah.
Your subconscious is primed though to
For that noise.
for that noise specifically. So one of your eyes kind of
It's an
sleepily.
old trick from camps.
Yeah.
Or training or something.
Like I may if it was a foe, I may have you roll, but now you're kind of that the door is opening, and Finny, do you reach around through it and then tongue the stick from the other side? All right, the tongue comes out. and you're in for a second, like your sleep-addled brain's like,
I got open one
what is
eye.
that? Because you see something
Open
come
one
around.
eye slowly, just to see who it is or
And
see
there-
what's going on.
Because there's like no way that a hand would bend around like that. You know, an arm could bend around like that, but the tongue just hugs the door, gets the stick, and pulls it out.
Oh, she's gonna be like, all right, Finny's back. Good thing I didn't lock it.
Okay, and then you creep in. You hear. Does anybody snore?
Her.
Okay, so he's just.
Yeah, no.
I'm imagining. Yeah. What's Marlo like at 0300?
Well, normally she would be asleep. If she is sleeping, it's pretty restless because she's not used to being quite so uncomfortable or sleeping in a room with a bunch of other people.
That's true.
So she would probably stir hearing any sound, but she pretends to still be asleep.
Okay. So you kind of play it off as just kind of restless moving. You are still pretty groggy, so you can go back to sleep eventually. Okay. Do you try to talk to Zafina right now, or do you wait until dawn, or closer to dawn? All right. You hear the Morse code. The Morse code of the tongue.
Code of the tongue.
Morse
tongue.
You're trying to get stick off your tongue or something.
You got like a splinter. New tongue ring.
Okay, I'm gonna say that wakes you up enough that you're.
Oh, I'm awake as soon as I
Yeah.
hear the noise.
Yeah.
I'm just not moving, so I'm not. Can't tell.
I don't. First thing when you wake up, you see something like that. You're like,
It reminds me of that. It reminds me of the last Starfighter, where the little brother wakes up and he sees the android version of his brother like working on his own head.
you're dreaming.
Yeah.
Go back to sleep.
Yeah, you're dreaming. Go back to sleep.
That's great.
Okay. I'm gonna say that unless you want to deliberately rouse someone, Finny, then you're gonna nod off for a couple hours.
At the noises, if I'm awake, then
You're awake.
yeah. I'll quietly lock the door, please, Finny. I didn't want to lock you out.
I'm going back. Do you want me to watch the sun rise? Do you want me to watch where we have to go? What we have to do? Who goes in and out?
Is there a window in the room?
In this particular one, there is not. In some of the ones that are on the outer ring, there are. But you're a little bit inside the tree.
Is it only just before sunrise?
Got about 2 to 3 hours.
Get some sleep, Finny. And lock the door. If you're staying.
Well, you don't think I'll stay if I'm not in this room?
No, it's not that. As I said, I don't want to lock you out. Did you learn anything? I'm awake now.
Yeah.
So she'll just kind of sit up.
I assume you're careful of your movements not to disturb the other two.
Yeah, I'll sit up just kind of slow and still keep my voice hushed.
Okay.
It's a small enough room that just moving to the other end of the room isn't gonna.
Yeah, it's a pretty cozy.
I'm not worried about you running off. If you want to run off, you'll do that of your own choice. I would appreciate it if you let me know before you do something like that.
No.
But you're not a prisoner.
No,
You are here by choice, correct?
Yes, but I've learned nothing. And I won't unless I sleep with my eyes elsewhere.
Understood. Find a place that you're comfortable.
See you at dawn.
If you don't find me here, I'll be out mapping the town.
I'll see you. And I'll join you. Nothing else wakes me up. Sweet dreams.
You too. She'll go put the stick under the door after Finny leaves.
Okay, and Finny, you leave again?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Time passes. Akari, where do you find yourself?
She'll probably like to stay roughly in the higher levels of the tree because it kind of makes her, I guess the atmosphere would feel like familiar. Not entirely sure why, but
That makes sense.
she'll probably crash on maybe one of the outer branches. She feels somewhat normal, but also sleep with her emotional support axe. Just in case.
Sure. So you have this wild. I love that. I love that visual. You kind of appreciate that you're walking out. That these branches are huge, right? These branches are the size of a normal tree, like a tree trunk. So you have these branches going out. You pick one that can support you, and even though the rings and the tree itself are crowded, the branches not so much. So you walk out and you have this funny thing where I'm envisioning like an open air walkway, but it has, railings on the side. So you're like walking on this branch basically. And then you go to a room that's supposed to be like a nice cozy den for a couple. And you take up the whole.
Yeah.
You take up the whole room.
Massive. Just her and their axe.
Yeah.
Just
yeah. That's your couple.
Just spooning.
yeah, spooning the axe.
So you're treated, despite all of the difficulty and anxiety and challenges, to a truly splendid dawn as it washes over you, because this is open air as well. It's early spring. The night, you're quite robust, so the dawn chill doesn't bother you at all. And then you slowly see the day take hold. The world begins to wake up. You're actually hearing literal birds chirping, and the rustling of small animals in the growth. As you look down, you realize there's the face of some sort of small simian animal that that's crawling around like way underneath, but still on one of the trees that's been growing. The vegetation, by the way, is growing at an unnatural rate around here. So something that might have been a couple weeks ago was a sapling was almost metastasized, but it's starting to sprout up into something much more formidable, that would take years and years. But you see this red-furred small simian that doesn't look like any of the animals that you're familiar with. And you are familiar with, your memory holds quite a bit, so you're familiar with a lot of the flora and fauna around here. And it looks up curiously at you and then scampers off.
She it's kind of like with her eyes just kind of track where it goes, and she makes a mental note in her brain of just like, okay, this is what it looks like, kind of like a memory sketch of what she saw, just for, I guess, future purposes. And it's not normal and not native to the area, is it?
You've never seen the Sablewood does have monkeys, but the red fur and the proportions of the body to the head are not, and also the monkeys are clever, but this creature was looking at you almost with intent.
Oh.
Which post Reckoning you don't dismiss anymore. Well, not that you did anyway, but like you really are paying attention to that.
Oh
now,
yeah.
Things are changing. Is
it just kind of exploring the lower branches? Is it staying like relatively in the same area? Is it going inside the tree at all?
It's below. It's a good deal below you,
Okay.
and you feel like it's deliberately broken line of sight with you, and it's crawling. The last known vector was it crawling around on the lower branches.
Okay.
maybe exploring some of the rooms that are out on the lower branches.
Okay. I'm gonna do something stupid.
Do it.
Since she's already outside, can she kind of navigate the branches to kind of like gradually make her way down?
Yeah.
Cool. She'll kind of put her axe back up, like hand by hand. She's got the long arm length, so she can definitely reach further than the normal person.
Are you going to stay just on the walkways, or are you trying to climb?
A little bit of both. Just as safely as I possibly can, but still being stupid. I guess.
Safely and stupidly.
Safely and
Well,
stupidly.
the GM and your roll of the dice besides that.
Our first party death is you fall 6 stories. You fall 6 stories down.
You know, this is what I bring to the table.
Okay, go.
It was a nice hour having you. So.
Yeah, it's nice
It was a wonderful guest star. The others never even know that
I played my part.
One friend dies instantly.
Stay alive.
They
So
say about being bigger, right?
if you like agility or finesse, either one is
Ooh.
fine with me. Or if you want to make a case for something else, I'm fine with that.
Under strength, there is
The bigger you are, the
grapple.
harder you fall.
So,
That's usually wrestling, but if you want to say that you're
Splat you make.
that you're using a crude arm over arm technique, I'm okay with that.
okay, great.
Okay.
She said stupidly.
I say stupidly.
She grappled with the branches.
I grappled, I hugged the branches. I am a literal tree hugger. Oh, thank God. Okay.
Tarzan or George of the Jungle?
Both.
So, 21 with hope.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. You have
The dice like me being stupid, so.
Take a hope city.
You have a crude but
Says it all
apparently
together.
effective technique, and yeah, you take a hope. As you get down, probably honestly faster than you should, but your long limbs allow you to kind of cheat. And if you've ever rock climbed before, you know, in those places you see somebody who's 6.5 feet, and it's like, that's cheating.
Right?
Yeah.
They can just skip over,
fair.
some of those. Yeah.
Know that precise feeling.
So you even chuckle to yourself a little bit, and you get down to the room faster than you thought you were going to get down there. Yeah. That the creature was investigating, and let me make a roll for it.
As she's climbing now, she'll and realizing how quickly she's going, she's like, Simeon, you are mine. And just like really proud of herself.
As you get down there, you actually get there fast enough that apparently it did hear you though.
Oh.
And there's a flash of red tail, and it's just so quick on these branches. But you get down to the little room that it was at. This is actually on the one of the lowest branches. You're only about you could just hang off of this branch and drop the rest of drop the rest of the way. And you look and you see a scroll that's kind of halfway open on one of the. This one looks like a sitting room because you see there's a couch. There's a couch facing another couch. And like a gazebo situation.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Okay.
So you go down there. If you want to look at the scroll.
Yes, please.
All right. You're looking around. You see the fur. And since you have a +2 in knowledge, so I'm not going to make you.
+1 actually.
Oh, +1 knowledge. Okay. What are your experiences again? I think I know them.
2 strength, -1 finesse,
Oh.
1 instinct, and then 1 knowledge.
Sorry, experiences. So like.
I've got your back and not afraid of anything.
Okay. I thought I can reach that.
I mean, that kind
played
of
out
like
well.
played out real well.
Yeah. +1's enough. So without having to roll, so you get down there, and you see where the fur is at, and there's this crude, kind of clumsy attempt at writing on the scroll. And then you see in the ink that had been spilled when it dashed, you see little simian paw prints in the ink, and you realize that you think this thing was trying to write.
Oh, okay. immediately just as excited as I am, and makes a mental note. And are there any other like papers?
Yeah. There's some fresh papers. There's some ink that's soaking into some of the scrolls. So if you want to save the majority of them, you can pull them.
Yes,
pull
I
them
will
up.
take that. And if there's a blank one, can she like do kind of like a like an ink print of the paw?
Yes.
just for her, as like a, I guess, a documentation of all this for future,
Do you want to take the scroll that it was trying to write on with you?
Yes, I would love to.
All right. I will move to our Qatari friend.
All right.
You wake up first because you went to sleep first.
The animals are learning to write. It's like living in a episode.
The Secret of Nim.
Or more like Click Clack Moo, where they start demanding electric blankets.
I'm the only one who gets that reference. They don't have children.
Yeah, it's true.
I know about Miss Rachel because of you, so
I'm sorry.
they're making
Get
up
it hard, okay? I'll understand a few things, maybe.
Okay. I assume hopefully get enough sleep and then try to quietly make my way downstairs. Whether I catch the stick at the door thing, I don't know. Probably not.
you see the stick. You have.
It's pretty small.
It's probably sticking out.
No, it's there because when you try to open the door, it's like a
Yeah, you couldn't
doorstop.
open it without it being
So you have to.
pretty much
You're like, oh.
noticed.
I feel like it'd be like,
Like if you're
Zeph.
gently trying to open the door, you would notice there's some resistance.
I probably
and
would have
you'd
been
probably,
trying to not wake you guys up. So yeah, okay.
It's up to you if you.
I'll move the stick. I have no idea what to do with it. I'll just. I mean, it's obviously put there. I'll just move it aside.
Okay, you put it on a nightstand. Go downstairs. You don't see Lawrence or Lausa up yet. It's still it's very early. You're probably still a few minutes before dawn.
Okay.
Just before.
I'll try to get some refreshment, water, whatever it is, and just kind of get prepared because I have a feeling that the hunting party is probably going to meet here pretty soon.
Okay.
I might step outside just to kind of take it in, but not go too far.
The world's changed. You can feel it. You with your gifts can feel it. Different from Marlowe. For you, it's almost entirely physical. Like your spellcasting ability is literally agility. So it's you can feel it. You can feel the pathways have altered. The dance that you would use to enact your gifts has changed actually from what it was before. But this you can follow easily, and you're almost certain that that's why so many more of the Qatari kept their will working abilities than the elves did. And I think you've even said this in character already, Justin, that the fact that all of the languages had been basically homogenized into one language, and you know that the elves used words of power extensively.
Right.
And those words are empty now. So that occurs to you too, but dance is dance, life is life, movement is movement. And you look up, and then you're then treated to the spectacle of a 7.5 foot tall giant with one eye and a great axe on her back, climbing down the tree. You see her go into one of the gazebos, and look quite and like murmur. How the sound can carry in this weird way, like early morning.
Yeah.
Where it's
Stillness.
yeah, the stillness of it. Your ears kind of whoop, perk up. What's one of your relationships?
Oh goodness. Ooh. This would actually be very
Because
funny.
each character has 3. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This would be very funny, actually. I'm trying to impress you.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay. So, Kari, as you remember a giant who, unless you want to override me as the player, which you absolutely can, I'm going to say, I feel like your character is younger than his character, or no? Are you the same?
I'd say a little bit younger.
Okay.
Not by much, but...
So you remember on your many travels that there was a precocious young giant who came to your small pack in Haven wanting to learn the ways of the Qatari, and specifically the ways of the hunt. And she had a peculiar way of going about doing things, and she was very attached to her axe. But
Okay.
and you remember her name. If the player needs refreshing, you could, go ahead and tell him. But
Yes, Kari Nix is her name.
and it looks like a little bit older. Some years have passed. It looks like Kari Nix climbing around on this tree, going and getting this. And I'm going to say that you've spotted her, but she hasn't spotted you yet.
Okay. And she goes into one of the tents.
Like a gazebo, like a
Gazebo.
Yeah, like a gazebo thing that's out on one of the branches.
It's a big gazebo.
Yeah.
One that could hold a giant, hopefully.
A big old giant gazebo.
I'm just thinking of that thing where attack the gazebo. Okay, I'll make my way over to the gazebo.
Okay. It's on the first branch. So do you want to go back in and then out, or you just want to climb up the outside of the tree? It's only one floor up, so you can make the climb.
Sure.
Okay. Chink.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. About the time that you're turning around, because he had woken up so early. So about the time that you're turning around from that, and you tuck the scroll away, you see a mentor from your past who you always felt was just a little cooler than you.
Actually, she may not recognize me at all. I look completely different.
Yeah, she remember him.
Do you? Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
that's right.
He
You.
used to look more like a panther, and he's looking like a tiger these days.
So there's something very familiar about this person in their eyes and in the way that they stand, but you can't quite place it. So what does she see?
So
It's a good catch, Justin.
she, there's a tiger up on the branch with you now, wearing
wonderful.
leather.
Usual, casual.
Leather.
This one does.
A leather outfit, bow over his back, I guess. Just kind of staring kind of at you, and kind of almost a ponderous look upon his face. And it was Kari, right?
Yes.
Kari?
She immediately kind of like turns around like she didn't just stuff a strange scroll into her pack.
His tail twitches slightly.
Do I know you? I'm feeling a sense of disapproval.
Right. It's Varian. I look very different than I used to.
She'll kind of go back into her memory. Dawns on her all of a sudden. I forgot your name, but I know you. And then she goes up to you, like two-handed, like shakes your paw.
I see not much has changed.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
You have found yourself in Hush. Were you here when the events happened?
No. At least I don't. Are you talking about the memory encounters and, everything that comes with it?
The remaking of the world, as it were.
Indeed.
You look the same.
Well, I have aged a little bit, I hope. You've certainly changed as well. What's with the stripes?
His claws come in and out just a little. It would seem as though I was due a change of appearance based on the outcome.
My condolences. I mean, unwanted change is difficult to encounter, and, well, I'm glad that I'm not that changed, I think. I still have some memories.
I'm going to be going out on a hunting expedition this morning. There's a great need for food in this town, I'm sure, as you know.
Unfortunately, yes. Mind if I join you?
For the hunt.
Yes. She has like her big axe, like just hunting.
Perhaps. I'm not actually in charge, but I don't see why we wouldn't be able to use your talents. What are you doing here?
Surprisingly, I cannot recall. I strayed a little too far from home, and, well, with maps being different and all, and, well, gone, I cannot seem to recall how to get home. I'm afraid.
That's not unheard of. But I meant here.
Does she recall how she even got here?
You came down the tree.
Well, yes, I did. I was following a simian species down here, and I look like an insane person right now.
No. Simian.
Yes,
Interesting.
part of the simian gene, and it had red hair, surprisingly, very orange, bright. Not native to the area, which is why I followed it, and you saw me embarrass myself outside of the tree. Okay,
No. You just... Forgive me. You speak a little differently than you used to.
I do. How so?
I don't think you would have used the word simian before.
Well, it is the name of their genus and species and how to
Yes.
describe the animal. Oh, okay. Shut up.
I appear to be making you uncomfortable.
It's just not every day I've been running into two people that I can actually remember. So it's a little daunting and overwhelming, to say the least.
I understand. Perhaps we can catch up later. If you're going to be coming with us on the hunt, then perhaps then.
I'd like that. If I would like to tell you about my simian adventures a little bit later, but it would be a joy to hunt with you.
It's good to see you alive.
You as well. And memory things, I seem to have forgotten your name.
Varian.
Varian.
Soto.
Varian Soto. It is a nice name. A strong name. Fit for a...
He bows ever so slightly.
You see, there seems to be some sort of conversation taking place underneath y'all, with maybe a dozen. They have the look of hunters, and more importantly, the gear of hunters. And then there's a sun-haired elven lad who's speaking with them, with bags under his eyes, but still kind of, you can feel a quiet intensity to him as he's trying to persuade them of something. And then he points to the main door of the tavern, and the leader, a dwarf, shrugs, and the lad turns. So I know Marlowe saw Adrian. Did any of the other characters see Adrian? You saw Adrian too? Okay. So depending on where Finny is at, you may or may not see him.
I saw them talk.
Going toward. You may or may not see him right now, going toward the main entrance.
I saw him talking to Marlo.
Okay, so yeah, so depending on where Finny is at this time, you may or may not see Adrian at this time, but when you see him, you know who he is. Okay, and I'm gonna just roll, see if he happens to. No, okay, doesn't look up. So he starts walking in, and the hunters send somebody in as well, but they don't. The mass of them don't actually go into the tavern. They're staying out. One thing I want to note is that from the Clover Tavern, you can see kind of the town square, and I had named that. That's right. And Hush was just developed enough to have a pool of threads. So any of the elves, basically any of the elves who could work well, could tap into the pool. They could communicate with any other pool throughout the entire world. And then the pool actually, they could ask it questions like a library, and it would send images and tell stories back to them. Again,
Fancy.
throughout the entire world. And you could send images and stories from one pool of threads to another pool of threads. So not just speech, but also images. Yeah, no, this world is
Pool of Wi-Fi internet.
far.
The world's wide pool.
I was like, I didn't want to say like
Yet-
it's like Grandma Willow with meets Wi-Fi.
Yet another initiative that her wisdom, the racial leader of the elves, initiated a long time ago, and it took them probably centuries to get these pools set up throughout all the continents, but it's there now. And you all are on the same continent as Ice's End. Importantly. Okay, so I'm gonna leave y'all there.
Okay. Yeah. If I see the hunters gathering, I'll say it's her, right? Come with me. Let's go see what we can do this morning.
So you hear hello on y'all's room. Are they?
Who is it?
Hey? I do
I'm
hope.
standing up.
Yeah.
By now.
I do hope I have the right room. It's Adrian. I'm looking for Marlo.
Oh, yes. I hop up and
Okay.
open the door. I'm trying to like.
Should be out of here.
Looking at, were you asleep? No.
Breath.
It looks like he splashed some water on his face, and he says, good morning. Magus, I've spoken with the hunters, and upon further reflection, I have a plan. I mean, maybe, I think, kind of, sort of. Remember, of course you do. So the Arcanist, she said that this power was awakening within me, different from yours, but I didn't have the gift before. I think if understanding what she left for me to read, there might be a way to shield the... All right, Adrian. I might be able to get operational some of the wards around the farms and get these things out, these walking vegetation things that are trying to tear people apart.
Yes, that would be so good for the people here. What did she write you?
She left so much. I feel like a ghoul going over her writings like this, but she said she gave me her blessing before. Right. So there's a glade. It's in a place, or maybe it is the place. It's called the Open Vale.
The Open Vale.
Yes, and she said that there was a tome there that was implanted or grown or something, and it would help me to channel what I'm feeling now.
Did she explain where we could find this place?
There's a map, and she left me a map, and also I took the liberty, maybe it was a bit stupid, but, and he holds up a small rune ward. He says, this is from one of the farms. It was overrun, but I didn't see any of this creature, so I dotted in and took it and ran here. I think if I start small, I might be able to I know that Will is completely different now, Marlowe, but this power, I don't know, but it could work. I really do believe that. I told the hunters, tried to convince them to come with me, but too many of the loved ones, their bellies are all growling.
Yes.
But I'm going to need help. I can't get to the open veil by myself.
Well, I shall accompany you. Yes, this is important. You saw this map? It exists. We can still use it.
She made it, I don't know how, but actually, I do know. Tale for a different time. But she made this after the Reckoning. And he pulls out, and it's actually pounded bark that's been rolled. And as he unrolls it, it's not really a conventional map. Maybe.
Zeph is definitely stepping in.
Yes. Like her one eye open, I was like...
But it's this incredibly intricate weaving of different vines and shells and barks of different hues that all together make a tactile, also visual, but there's like a strong tactile component to it map.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
Yeah. She's trying to reach out and feel it.
Ave, I'm Adrian.
Hello, Adrian. I'm Zephina.
Zephina.
You can call me Zeph.
Pleasure. Yes. Well, if I have it worked out, may I come in?
Yeah, she's already pulling him in.
So,
she's still half dressed. She doesn't care.
He's slender build, looks quite young, but with a quick light in his eye, and he lays this bark map down, this tactile map down on the nightstand. Oh, here, stick. Here, right. Yes.
Oh. I was like, she puts it back in her pack with the others.
And the one that Varian had put on the nightstand. So he lays it out. He says, I believe this is her home, and this piece of moss here looks about the same distance, if I have the scale correct, as the tavern. Here's the Sunless Farm, the entrance to the Sunless Farm. And then this over here, I assume this blue is some sort of creek or river, small river. This tan over here with the stones in it, that must be the open veil.
Okay.
So maybe
it's not far off then.
No, maybe an hour.
We could find that. If we could make our way here from Haven, certainly we could find the open veil. It would do so much for the people here if we could activate this magic.
It does sound important.
I don't think Hush is going to be a going concern much longer if something doesn't change.
You're absolutely right. Adrian, what happened to the Arcanist?
She seemed, go ahead and make a presence roll for me.
That is only a 7 with fear.
Oh. Okay.
Can I help her? With all of my stack of hope and affable?
with your stack of hope, yes. How would you like to help her?
So you, just clarify, you asked him
She's basically trying to get
what
him
happened to the Arcanist.
Tell me what
tell
happened.
what happened to her.
Didn't you already say she died?
Yeah, but she's
I'd
trying
like
to
some
get
more detail than that.
Yeah,
Sorry.
because she just died. So she did not die.
Okay, you want more?
Yeah, something happened in those 3
Take your
weeks.
time. This is very important. There might be some details that you think are not important, but anything you can tell us.
I trust Zephina fully.
Well, okay. Spend a hope
Yep.
and roll a die 6, and let's add that to the 7.
Let's go.
He wants to tell you, but he's just very sad.
That is a 5, but
Oh,
I got
good.
the affable
Don't-
+2.
Yeah, I was about to say you
So
have
I'd
something
add
that lets
that.
you an experience that she can use.
You
the
would
die roll, I believe.
You would also have to use a hope to activate that experience.
Yeah, she just gave one.
Oh,
Okay.
So you're allowed
I
to
mean, that's what I was.
hope, you said.
But yeah, if I
rigid
use
hope,
2 hope, that's
baby.
fine.
Tell her now.
So one hope to do the
You just lock
assist,
the door.
Sure.
and then one hope to do to activate.
Okay, so now she's like
And
back
then
down to earth.
my question is, the under experience, there's this one. This says +2. Is that something I add to the die?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so you actually got a
then
7.
7.
And then so that brings the total to a 14. Okay. He
Well played, soldier.
I'm like, I had a stack.
Well,
Like,
she,
I'm
no, she
gonna-
really
whatever-
couldn't have more, so
whatever
she had to
you
get rid
do.
of some.
Yeah.
Power of friendship, so.
No, power of she could not have
okay.
more. So use it. You're
He
human like this. Actually, no, you're human.
he says,
Yeah, I'm human.
I think
Only you could.
hold that thought. And he goes to the bed, and little Adrian puts his face in his hands and just has a nice little sob.
Marlo goes over to the bed and kind of kneels down right next to it and just puts her hands on one of his knees. It's
You, f-
okay.
you feel this grief welling out of him, almost a palpable thing.
Marlo recites a prayer
A prayer.
out loud. Reciting would probably be out loud, but just to be clear.
And he finally wipes the tears off of his face. Eyes red and puffy. I look a mess. He turns away. I'm sorry.
It's fine, it's fine.
Turns away, gets a linen kerchief and wipes the snot out of his face. Right. That's him taking a stress, by the way. She was so wise. Some say I was going to her as a scrivener, just so that I could learn, and some say that she's as old as her wisdom. And actually, I believe it. She talked of listening to the stones grow. And she knew the veins of the deep world. Her bright, shining spirit is what she called it. She, the earth, beneath our feet. Like we have blood, she has magma. Like we have skin, she has dirt. Like we have breath, she has rivers. She described the oceans of her living womb, Marlo. Then he squeezes your hand hard. And I knew it was important. I knew it was dreadfully important that I understood. And I'm not... I've been clever, oh so clever, but I've never been deep, you understand? I've never been deep. I don't have the gift. I don't have the gift of eye, the way that some of our archers do. I'm just me. I'm just a scrivener. I just write things. And she was trying to give me 40,000 years of wisdom in 3 weeks. 2, really. I was out of my head the first week, I'm sorry to say. And so many of us from Isis End still haven't recovered. And without our mind speakers, we may never. I don't know, but I can't think of that right now. And she slowly suffocated. She said that she could no longer exist in this new way, but it was all right, and she said all tales end, and that mine was just beginning. And hers had gone on entirely too long, and she laughed. She wasn't afraid at all. In fact, I think she was happy. And she said something I probably shouldn't repeat. But she laughed and she said that they had done it. She said by all the gods, old and new, real and false, they had done it. And I had seen signs that there had been a group there in her abode. And she expired then. And it was so hard to dig, and she wasn't an elf, and she wasn't a dwarf, and she wasn't anything I'd ever seen before. Sorry. And then I realized that she had given me some sort of incredible awakening, and that maybe the reason she didn't have the strength to go on is because she had kindled a flame inside of me. And I am nothing compared to her, just absolutely nothing. You're there with Lord Skyfire, who is said to be nearly as strong as her wisdom in some ways, and very old, so you understand what it is to sit at the right hand of eternity. I just feel so inadequate and small, entirely inadequate to this task. And that's what happened. I haven't told anybody this. I haven't told Manara, and I don't think I'm going to. I don't want to know about this other group or what she meant. That's not true. Something happened with the Reckoning. Is it possible that mortals were the catalyst for this thing? I had just assumed that it was the gods, that there was some kind of war in heaven.
Anything is possible. We don't know how it began.
What I do know is that people here are afraid, and that they're starving, and that it is within my means to help them.
Yes.
And some of them are elves, and some of them are dwarves, and some of them are humans, and a few of them apparently are Qatari. It doesn't matter. They still... Oh, hello. But they all need help.
Yes.
So, let me just stiff up a lip, Adrian. And he...
Right.
Thank you. And he's shivering a little bit.
Grab the blanket from the bed.
Okay. He wraps it around him. It's funny, people used to tease me about how I dressed in Ice's End, but here it's rather almost garish. The gold thread and the red linen. There it's not one of those light weaves, so it's, just horribly out of fashion. Their clothes glow. They're made out of will. They just magic them out of nothing. And they change all the time. Can we go now?
Well, let me
Would
speak
it be
to my
at
friends
all
here.
possible for you? Do you think it would be possible to make our way to the Arcanist home?
Yes, but once she passed, those things, I couldn't reactivate the defenses. Those things are there.
The group?
What things?
No, those shrubs that have arms and legs.
Finny knocks on the door.
Oh, did you actually say ribbit earlier?
Oh, I thought Finny was
I
there.
thought you were in the room once
okay.
you said that.
Okay.
No, I was letting you know I was
He's just
outside.
here.
I was letting you know I was outside the door.
Okay.
I'm like, what?
Okay.
So I'm knocking.
Well,
on the
that at the ribbit stuff.
At the ribbit, yeah.
Would have gotten up
Yeah.
and let him in.
Okay, so
Well, no, I was at a ribbit, but no, I was still listening. I was eavesdropping instead of. But now I was knocking on the door.
Okay. So she got you in.
Yeah, so I think he means the I woke up to hearing branches move, crackles like thunder. I don't know if they know that we're here or we're going somewhere else, or they've got ears, but I don't know what's closing in on you. What we had to get through to get here. It's gonna get worse. So you guys gotta decide how important this is to you. Because I know thunder. This was worse. A lot worse.
I'm going to say, Justin, that the when you go down to talk to the hunting group, they give you an abridged, in fairness to Adrian, he made enough of an impression on them that they give you an abridged version. And they know that you came with Marlo, because that was, you guys arrived as a group. So they give you an abridged version of what he just told her. Obviously not the detail about the Arcanist and all that, but basically that this kid elf is running around saying he needs help and blah, 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 but, bellies are grumbling. So they're going to still go out to hunt. So if you want to, you and Kari can make your way to the room, or you can do something else.
Is the hunting party not assembling just yet?
No, they're
trying to get out.
They're going to leave soon. Yeah, they're going to leave soon. So do you want to go? Do you want to go with them, or do you, while they're still like waiting for members, do you want to quickly get back to the room? Probably have about 20 minutes, 30 minutes before everybody's
they'll wait, I'll go check on the room maybe. But yeah.
Okay.
I won't be staying. It's important to me that I go help pull in food for the town. So
it's very on brand.
and I sort of assume that they aren't going to want to leave without me. So
it's very on brand. Okay, so not so far behind Finny, then Varian and Kari make it to the room.
Oh, you guys have met.
And your last, give me your last relation.
Oh no, we both want the same thing.
Okay, so you have a flood of memory. Somebody else has a flood of memory. So
I'm a childhood friend.
You were the person that she was trying to impress. So out of Marlo and Zafina, who wants the same thing as you?
Choose wisely.
Oh no.
It could be your
Oh
kid.
no. I can't choose. I'm gonna say. Ooh. Oh, this will be fun.
Sure.
I'm gonna go with Marlo.
Okay. All right, Marlo, you have
This could be fascinating.
You have a flood of memory as you see this formidable female giant appear, and giants are not unknown, obviously, in Lord Theodulf Skyfire's court.
Yeah.
And she has, and we've already established she's been in Haven before because she trained with Varian. So that'd be, by your reckoning, pretty recently, fairly recently, even if it was 10 years ago or something. What is it that you both want?
I get to decide what I both want.
I mean, I feel like it's
Fine.
I feel like it's a fair volley, and then we'll see if what you want where you want to meet in the middle.
I want to see what you can come up with.
Brainstorm idea toss.
Oh yeah, and I did say you two have met.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's loaded.
Yeah, just like, oh yeah,
Maybe
we
that's
have
what
met.
triggered it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we both want to help the people of this space of.
So there's cool. So there will have been, and I'll leave it to you, to y'all to come up with this before next session.
Okay.
There'll have been some event that showed that both of you had, even while elves were still supreme, that there was something in her that the two of you meshed on about altruism or helping others. Some event that happened between the two of you. So that all hits. None of you are so dense as to not understand that the coincidences are stacking up. And you have that moment where you can almost feel the presence of something larger than yourselves as you have this rush of memory. And all of this, you hear Finny say, so you've met? All right.
Apparently we have. Are these the friends you were talking about the other day, Finny?
Friend's a loose word, but I'm not dead yet.
Understood.
Do we have room for one more? And do we have enough rations?
All of that could be arranged. You're familiar.
You know each other.
Seems to be happening a lot in the last fortnight.
I want to know someone.
And she'll like walk up to this poor little kid and just like holds out her giant hand and goes, Kari Nix.
Hello.
Yes, Kari.
Adrian.
His hand is just so tiny.
Do I shake your finger or?
Sure.
Sorry.
It is an honor to meet everybody and to recount old friends and memories. A lot in one day, but I've been told that there is something to help with food, and then
Actually,
I do think Finny wants to would want to check with Zeph, because I swore my allegiance to Zeph. I'm not part of this group, but I swore my allegiance. If Zeph's okay with this additional party,
write a note because we're gonna have to
clap it up.
end here. But write a note that you want to check in, and you still haven't used your advantage for your first deception roll for your great acting last time, Audrey. So remember that too.
Oh no, I looked into that, but
Yeah, just
I didn't know I'd have like a bestie.
who knew?
gosh.
Well, literally no one knew until it happened because because we just did it.
His memory shenanigans.
So Adrian says, actually, I'm hoping for rather greater game, and then he re-explains what he had explained to Marlo. All right, friends. Unfortunately, that is us today. We have a hard stop because some of us have to go about their real life business before the Sablewood encircles them. And
I just told you, like, they're coming.
they're coming.
Wow.
The trees are coming. The trees are coming.
We are getting there, and for those of you who know the published adventure, obviously we have deviated wildly from it, but we have important elements in it, and I think that when it all comes together, it will actually be pretty nice. So I hope you were entertained, or at least mildly amused. I'm fascinated to see how these different relationships play out. So thank you everybody for being brave. I know it's kind of nerve-wracking to just get thrown out there and, hey, do this thing. But, I feel like that's very much in the spirit of the game. As my fear counter just continues to float. I know GMs are not supposed to hoard fear in Daggerheart, but I can't help myself, at least for the big finale. All right, thank you so much for staying with us, and as you go on about your journey out there, please stay safe and stay curious. Thank you. Ollie. Bye.
Ribbit.
Why limit your imagination? In the tabletop role-playing space, customization is everything, especially when it comes to your character. Whether you're a player, a painter, or a master of tales, your character is what matters most. Using high-quality, fully customizable miniatures, you can be built for battle with Eldritch Foundry.
Greetings, weary travelers, and welcome to Constructed Chaos, a channel dedicated to all things D&D, including live play streams and podcasts, 3D printing, painting, crafting, homebrew content, and guides for players and dungeon masters alike. Join our Discord for even more special benefits, announcements, and free downloadable content. And until next time, go out there and make some chaos.